Let's start with swinging of the arms. And you should also, as you start moving, immediately go to regulating of the breath. That's one of the things that's difficult to do is in terms of at what point do you begin to regulate the breath? So sometimes we realize we may be out of breath or we're straining something, and then we realize, oh, I need to regulate the breath, which is good. It's good to even be aware of that. And then at the same time, on the other hand, when you start to move or you do something with purpose or with intention, at that point you realize, okay, I'm going to need to regulate my breath. And that's even better. Start to engage the shoulders and the shoulder girdles. Feel the shoulders loose and feel the mobility, feel the stretch in the front part of the shoulders, like the delts and the pectorals. Feel the stretching in the backside as well. Yeah, so I'm kind of doing a sideward swinging of the arms. Typically we do a up and down, more of an up and down. So when I go to the side, I'm doing a little bit more of a chest bow engagement. Let's engage the whole body now. So we're going, when the hands go up, lifting the heel, hands go down, lift the toe. Notice we're opening and closing the spine bow.
Javi, I had a question about breathing with this.
Yeah.
I find that my breath cycle is like one breath, inhale,
Change sides.
goes for a whole cycle of swinging. It's not in, out. It's in, out, like that.
Yeah. Well, it's difficult because, yeah, it's difficult to synchronize it because we're moving fast.
Right. But so, when you say engage the breath, you just mean like be aware of it and move with the breath, or the breath with the movement, yeah, and coordinate it like that. It doesn't have to be like any particular way, right?
It could be in any particular way. However, you do want to be conscious of it and find a rhythm, yeah, for yourself. So it could be like inhale to exhale, 1, 2, inhale to exhale 2. It's kind of like someone who's trying to find their breath pace when they're jogging. Maybe they'll do 1, 2, 3, inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3. But it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So you kind of have to figure out what pace do you want to move, how fast do you want to move, and then try to time the breath with that. Inhale and exhale.
Well, thanks for asking that, Margaret, because I had the same question.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to pulling of the bow. And so one of the things that I've been thinking about and asking you to consider is the pattern of movement as it manifests through the body. And so what does it look like for muscles to engage and disengage, engage to disengage, and disengage, engage to disengage? And one of the ways that it shows is through momentum of movement. So when I move my body with pulling of the bow posture, notice my arms are fixed and they're not moving, they're still. But when I let my arms move with the momentum of the movement, it's a different experience and a different thing. I'm not engaging really much. I'm not engaging the tissues. The question is, well, what's engaged and what is disengaged? The tissues that hold my arms up are engaged and those are fixed. However, the tissues that allow my arms to go forward and back, those are disengaged. At the same time, too, I can use momentum to engage more. So when I lean back and shift back, I can use the momentum to open more. If I shift forward, I can use momentum to close more. So it's interesting, and I invite you to explore these sort of movement nuances and experiences. In the same way, the previous movement we just did, where we lift the arms and drop them, lift and drop them, lift and drop them, but then we have a momentum of the arms that we engage when the arms are coming back up. So for example, I lift them, I drop them, completely disengaged, that's full yin. But then when they're swinging back this way, I re-engage, pick up the arms, and then drop them, swing them, completely disengage, but then re-engage. And I'm using momentum in this way for the movement to get kind of what we call a whip-like motion. A lot of times we're looking for a whip-like motion. A whip-like motion is a movement that we like to use in Tai Chi that will give you speed, power, focus, accuracy, and maximize looseness for efficiency of focused power, focused attention. But that's Tai Chi. That's not. But that's the whip-like motion. But there's really a lot of benefit to breaking down how the whip-like motion manifests itself through the body, because it requires softness, it requires relaxation, it requires efficiency, it requires timing and attention to all those. And so when we do Qigong, we have the opportunity to really dissect movements and investigate and explore the tissues of the body. So that's what I ask you to do when we're doing pulling of the bow. So, and this is pulling of the bow is simply opening and closing, but it becomes a whole other experience when we engage rocking, shifting back and forth. I like this because, well, one, it incorporates a full body exercise. And at the same time, too, I use the energy of the lower body to help open the tissues of the upper body. So why is that important? Using the lower body to open the tissues of the upper body. So if I stop moving, I'm using upper body to stretch upper body. I have to sacrifice a little bit of relaxation in the upper body. When I use upper body to stretch upper body, I have to sacrifice a little bit of relaxation. When I use lower body to open upper body, I can use momentum of movement. And I can relax the tissues to sort of flap in the wind, to open and close. So I want to ask you just to sort of investigate and explore this movement. Don't forget the important thing is to move in coordination with the breath and try to find that relaxed state and stay in that relaxed state and maybe even deepen that relaxed state. So here's also one thing we're going to add to this movement. When we go back, we're going to tighten the fists. When we go forward, we're going to loosen the fists. When we go back, we're going to tighten the fists. And when we go forward, we're going to loosen the fists. Inhaling back, exhaling forward. And it doesn't have to be a really tight squeeze. It's just an engagement of the fingers and the fists. If you haven't already, go ahead and switch legs. It's also easy to get really distracted. It's easy for the mind to get distracted. You might start to observe the lower body and the movement of the lower body. That's okay. Try to bring your focus, bring your attention to what we want to focus on, which is the upper body. You're trying to time the engaging of the fists, disengaging of the fists, engaging of opening and closing the chest bow. Okay. So now we're going to go to the next movement, windlass. We're going to utilize the same rocking motion. All we're doing is changing the hand posture, arm position. So we're making a soft fist, and I'll show you it like I did last week, connecting the middle finger to the thumb to call this a soft fist, and essentially it's a hand posture, like a mudra. So we're using that and kind of just keeping the hands fixed as if you're kind of holding a rod or an oar. Hands are maybe a little less than shoulder width apart. Trying still to relax shoulders and open and close chest. See how momentum might be involved. A lot of times you get the sense of using momentum too, where gravity is involved. So for example, when I extend my hands and arms, I feel the energy of gravity, and I have to work with disengaging of the tissues so that my hands don't completely flop down, but rather I guide the hands as they're falling, and then also modulate how much I disengage in a given moment in space and time as I interface with gravity. We're inhaling to extend out. When it finishes, start inhaling to come back and return. And so I invite you also to take the opportunity to engage the spine. Utilize the spine bow, softly waving the spine and using spine bow opening and closing to lift the arms and hands. Switch legs if you haven't already. Let's come back to center. Let's just slowly come back to center, bringing the feet together, letting the arms and hands relax at the side. And let's go to observing the body, observing the posture, observing our relaxed tissues, and trying to relax anything that is hanging on, any tissues that you need to disengage, releasing tension in those tissues. Let your heart rate come down, let your breathing slow down. Find your relaxed, deep abdominal breath. We did a lot of movement. Now we're going into stillness. So just note the senses, note the sensations of contrasting movement and stillness. Is there really stillness in the stillness? Is there any movement in the stillness? And then also in the movement, our job is to bring in those relaxing, calming feelings of stillness into our movement. Bringing those calming, relaxing sensations and feelings of stillness into our movements. So we're going to go back to windlass and we're going to reverse direction, putting one foot forward. If you like, you can start by establishing your weight shifting forward and backward. You're rocking with soft hips, soft spine, spinal waving, feeling looseness in the vertebrae, looseness in the shoulder girdles, and then form your hand posture, and then lift the hands and engage the hands, engage the arms for the circle. And so really take energy and allot your energy and allot some focus to the tissues of the upper body that are engaging and disengaging, and at what times they engage and disengage to satisfy the movement of the circle. Engaging to lift, and then slowly disengaging to fulfill the bottom part of the circle. Let's go ahead and change legs if you haven't already. Try to keep the movement smooth and continuous as you change legs. Notice how sometimes when you start to become fatigued, you get a tendency, the body gets a tendency to speed up. So we really want to take focus. That's where we start to utilize the Qigong principles, relaxation, slow breathing to not speed up. Let's go ahead and bring it to a close. Slowly bring it to a close. Don't just stop abruptly. Just go ahead and slowly wind down, bringing the feet together, relaxing the hands at the side or in front, coming into standing, erecting the spine, connecting to the earth, lifting the head to connect to the sky, relaxing shoulders, arms, hands, wrists. At this point, you can also shake it out too if you need to, like we've been holding the hand position. It's good to shake those hands and fingers. And then just go into observing stillness. And so right before you go into your next movement, that's when you take note and try to bring that feeling of emptiness, those aspects of stillness, insubstantiality, and um, emptiness into the movement. So you notice the transition from stillness to movement, and you're very um, observant of it. What starts moving when? So, first and foremost, I bend the knees to connect to the feet, letting the movement begin from the feet. Then I close the spine, relaxing the spine in preparation to open it. Then I engage arms and hands because I'm going to lift the arms and hands. I push, extending the legs, push into the earth, lifting hands as I open spine, inhaling. To the chest, pushing the stone tablet. One hand pushes out, opposite elbow pushing back. Breathing naturally, breathing normally. Coming back to center. Breathing naturally, normally. Switching hands, pushing out with the hand in front, pushing back with the opposite elbow behind you. Looking back to that elbow too. Back to center. Moving slowly, intentionally, trying to feel also where does my breath want to coordinate with the movement? Kind of want to see where does my breath want to coordinate with the movement? So for me, I like to stretch and inhale when I'm pushing to the front, pushing to the back. I like to inhale and stretch. And then exhale and disengage as I come back to center. I breathe normally, breathe naturally until I get to those parts of the movement on the other side. I like to inhale, stretch, and then exhale, release. Use that to bring me back to center. Now we're going to slowly come back to the center and bring this movement to its end. Bring the hands in, slowly disengaging them. And then checking back in with the body, connecting to erect posture, connecting to the earth, lifting the head, connecting to the sky, slightly tucking in the chin, and connecting to abdomen, deep abdominal breathing. Bringing the heart rate down, slowing the lung rate down. Yeah, we're going to go to large rock, arcing its wings and spreading its wings. So in the same way we did the last movement, going from that place of stillness, the hands and arms are completely relaxed. And so how do we get into movement is the question. How does movement come into stillness, and where do they interface in the body? So in this regard, so for me, to begin the movement in the feet, I must bend my knees, relax the weight down, sink the mind and sink the body. At the same time, closing spine, relaxing spine to gravity, and letting that engage in the arms and hands as well. Extending the legs, pushing into the earth, opening spine to lift hands, inhaling. And exhaling, pushing out. Very softly, calmly, like a soft exhale. Inhaling, bringing back in. You can rise. You can open the chest here. And then exhale, pushing hands away from chest. Hands go forward, chest and back go backward. Bending knees, sinking the weight. Inhaling, coming back to center. Trick here is not to shrug the shoulders. Very difficult to easily shrug the shoulders. How do you engage the arms without shrugging shoulders? It's always been a question of mine. Okay. Let this one be the last one. We're going to bring the hands in, relax them down. Inhaling in. And exhaling. Relaxing, slowly disengaging. You can also rise up here. Let's go to arcing. Let's go to arcing, although I'm super relaxed right now. Let's go to arcing, spreading the wings. So the movement's going to be back and down. And this is where we're really engaged with the posture. Stretching to then release it. Circling forward and then circling slightly up and then down to complete the posture for that stretch. We'll look up. That's where I like to inhale and stretch. And then release the movement, release the tissues, release that tension. Control the forward movement and start to re-engage, circling up, back, and down. And for this movement, I'm going to have 1 foot forward. I feel like for me, this is going to help me keep my balance because I'm really relaxed right now. It's going to help me keep my balance and sustain my balance as I look up and stretch. I might even add a little bit of rocking to help with the circling of the hands. So we're starting with the hands completely relaxed to the side. Inhaling, circling forward and up. And exhaling back and down. I'm inhaling, stretching. Exhaling, releasing, sinking the weight. Circling the hands forward. Inhaling again, up. Exhaling, stretching down and back. Inhaling to stretch. And exhaling down. Disengage, relax. Inhale, lift the hands. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, disengage, sink the weight. Let's go ahead and switch legs. Try to seamlessly connect the movements, keeping them continuous. And so if my breathing strategy is not really working for you, See what's intuitive for your body and your breath to coordinate them together. Okay, let's make it the last one. Bringing it back to center. Bringing the feet together. Relaxing arms and hands at the side. Bringing heart rate down, slowing lung rate down, connecting to earth, connecting to the sky. We're going to stretch the back now, get the tension off the lower back, going into the next movement, shaking the head, shaking the tail, wagging the head. And so first I like to just put the hands on the knees, getting the weight of the torso off the lower back. And so as you do this movement, I encourage you to drop the hips. See if you can drop the hips. So we're going to push away on one side, turning to look back at the bum. And as you turn and complete the turn, try to drop your hips. Come back to the center and inhale. You can slightly rise. Exhale, turn to the other side. Push to the knee with the hand. Drop the hips as you turn. Back center. If you need to rise and stand up, that's fine. Otherwise, exhale, turn to the side. Drop the hips as you complete the movement. Back to center, exhale, one more each side. Inhale, back to center. It's going to be the last one. Back to center. Okay. Go ahead and come bring the feet together. Back to standing. We got one more movement, then we're done. Okay, we're going to go to the baby bird receives the food. So again, I want to encourage you to utilize the legs for this movement. We're going to begin the posture by forming the shape, arcing the back, creating a nice round structure in the torso, upper torso, as we sort of extend the elbows out, relaxing the wrists and fingers. We're going to sink the weight, bend the knees, exhaling there, inhaling, rising up, lifting hands. Opening, exhaling, closing, and sinking. Repeating, inhaling, lifting, rising. Opening, exhaling, descending, falling. Lifting, inhaling, opening, and exhaling, sinking, falling. Bending knees, relaxing. Connect the mind also to the feet. Feel the strength as you connect to the earth. And feel that strength from the earth come into the body, through the torso, into hands. See if you can feel the power and the connection. The body's relaxed, in position and posture, connected to the earth. See if you can feel the power in the horse stance there too. And make it the last one so we can complete the session. Bringing the feet together. Relaxing arms and hands at the side. And it's nice to close your eyes, internalize your awareness into the body. Opening yourself up to the messages of the body. Connecting to the earth, through the feet, connecting to the sky, via the head, top of the head, slightly tucking in that chin. Deep abdominal breathing. Couple of intentional breaths, inhaling deeply. Exhaling, releasing any stress, any tension. And now just let the breathing do what it wants to do. Just observe it. And then you can open your eyes, bring yourself back to your space, back to this time, this moment. And we'll complete the session there.